Ladies, gentlemen, non-binary beings, this is Miles here, serving you up another fresh episode of Cosmic Crit, the show where we roleplay, battle cultists, monsters, and occasionally the gum disease gingivitis. We're currently soldiering our way through Book 5 of the Dead Sons AP, The 13th Gate by Stephen Radney McFarland, and boy, it's been a tough one. While we've had really hard situations and bosses before, this book is probably the first time that I've genuinely believed that my character, Raimi, was not going to make it through an episode. And I know a lot of my fellow players felt the same way, so it's been quite an exercise in tension for us. So we're hoping that you're having as much fun listening to these as we are making them, because we are still having a blast playing together. Speaking of which, I wanted to thank every single person who took part in our first ever Cosmic CritterCon. Thanks to all the GMs and the players for making such a rad weekend happen. We're still pretty blown away that something like this even came into existence at all. And a special thanks needs to go to our venture agent Odin, aka Cosmic11, on our Discord channel for undertaking the task of organizing it. I also want to remind people that we're still running a Create a Starship challenge for the next phase of Cosmic Crit, which would see a starship of your design as our cruise ship in Season 2. So now it's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy our fresh new episode, Creature from the Back Room.
Last time on Cosmic Crit.
Should this computer console be making that exploding noise?
The Kish AI got into a hack battle with Nak, Raimi, and Andis.
Eltreth ain't got jack on these hacking skills.
Adras and Alindra know their place. They let the nerds do their computing, while they guard the door.
Any one of these electricity traps could have been curtains for the nerds.
Alindra dissolved into a cloud of light and chased cultists around, burning them alive.
Raimi and Nak do some K-pop style attacks.
Adras is becoming very familiar with this door.
Can somebody close that hallway door? There's a draft of bad guys.
This poor sniper is being bullied by Andis and a door. That sucks.
Episode commencing in 3, 2, 1. Episode initiated.
In order to get something from this gateway, you have to give something up in an equivalent exchange. Welcome, everyone. Join me as we're looking for a microchip alchemist stone in this week's episode of Full Cosmic Alchritist. My name is Patrick, and I'm your GM around these parts, your gluttony manifestation, and we're scribing seals and making deals on the show this week, trying to create a piece of the Philosopher's Stone. Joining me on this steampunkish magical adventure are my 5 friends and state alchemists. To my left, this is a living representation of sin. The sin of not applying your +2 bonus from Get 'em. It's Drew playing Nackfeld's.
Oh, what a cute dog.
Oh, to his left.
Wow, Drew, really? Right there.
Start at 10.
Wow.
To his left, the team's mechanic who's got a spanner at the ready. It's Jabert playing Andis Rockbell.
Oh, yeah. I'm the good one.
Across the digital table, the strong arm alchemist himself, ready to strike a pose. It's Miles playing Raimi Quindar.
Hey, I am not a dog of the military.
To his left, she's dishing out solar flame alchemy with a snap of her fingers. It's Rebecca playing Alindra Mustang.
Hello, hello.
And finally, to my right, the full metal armored blitzed alchemist himself. It's Tyler playing Edward Veronis.
My drill is the drill that will pierce the heavens.
Hey, everyone. We're back for another exciting adventure. How are y'all doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty tired after the last 2 episodes.
Well, you know what?
A lot of combat.
It's okay, Rebecca, because you know what time it is. It's time for a minute check-in with Rebecca this week.
Yay!
Where we take 1 minute and we see how Rebecca's doing.
Oh my
How are you,
gosh.
Rebecca?
Ill prepared for this segment.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. If I could grant you one wish as GM right now, what would it be?
To give Alindra all of her HP and SP back.
Probably not going to happen. That's something that just happens over time. But how about, would it be to upgrade 4 of your ability scores? Do you think that would float your boat?
Uh-huh.
Well, wish granted, because we just leveled up to level 10, everyone.
Yay!
And we're going to take some time at the beginning of this episode, as we always do when we level up here on Cosmic Crit, to spend some time, talk about your characters, talk about the players here, learn a little something about how you all changed this level. Level 10, a big one. Let's go around in no particular order and start with the androgenetic alphanumeric Andis147. How are you, Bert?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
How is Andis?
Andis is also doing pretty swell.
Get one of those every other level?
Yeah. Get every even level you get one. So this is one of those greater than level 8 ones. And I picked Ghost Intrusion. So
that sounds pretty useful.
It's pretty helpful. It's, I'm sort of, redoubling down on my hacking abilities. And so this
completely
one,
wasted in this sci-fi campaign. There are no more computers in the rest of the AP.
No more computers. It's all just rocks from here on out.
Yeah, you have to scribe the correct stones like in magic alchemy.
Right. And so essentially, I don't trigger countermeasures unless I fail by greater than 5 now, which is pretty sweet. And I also learned Ancient Kishali, which is, I'm tired of rolling against those super high DCs.
Tired of Rami and Knack talking about you behind your back.
Right, exactly. I learned it. I learned so I could listen into their secret conversations and be part of the cool nerd club.
You could be a Kish buddy.
Yeah, Kish buddies.
Speaking of the nerd club, let's nab Drew with the Napoleonic Knack Feldspar.
Yeah.
Drew, what's happening with Knack?
So Knack put some points into a few things just to get a little more strength for those grenades he's going to be chucking a little bit more often now so that he can throw them more than 5 feet. And so many ability score updates.
Yeah, 4 of them.
More skill updates. Knack is a very scary mouse. I bumped a lot into computers after that last check too, not just for that fight, but also
all wasted ranks. No more computers.
Yeah. Well, if we ever do Starship Combat again, which who knows, it'll help with science officer stuff.
Oh yeah.
Beyond that, I picked up a new envoy improvisation. Knack has been getting run up on by people lately and getting some melee hits in, and I took mobility not that long ago to try to escape and get some bonuses. But I picked up the envoy improv of Clever Feint, which is actually one of the level 1 envoy improvs. And if I fail at this check, which is a bluff check to feint against an enemy, that enemy is flat-footed to me until the end of my next turn. So I have a full turn of flat-footedness. So I don't even have
to... If you succeed at the bluff check.
If I fail it, they are flat-footed to me. If I succeed it, they're flat-footed to everybody. So hopefully get some bonuses in. It doesn't apply to every enemy. They have to have an intelligence score. So if we run across any Cassarics, unless we come across an enlightened Cassaric that happens to exist somewhere, we'll work on that. But it will help me get away and just add an extra bonus to everybody if I can do that. And since it's a bluff check, you want to know what the lowest bluff score I can roll is?
What is it, Drew?
A 21.
Pretty good.
Hopefully. We'll see how the odds are stacked. Maybe later on this very episode.
Excellent. And let's round out the nerd club with in the middle now. Talk to Miles about our friend the ramshackle Rami QD.
Yeah, so this level isn't super big for Rami.
You say that every level.
It's so ridiculous. This is a huge level.
No, because the cool thing I get is I get 2 level 4 spells.
Level 4.
Yeah, like that's like the big thing about the class is that you get those more powerful spells, right?
I know, but like everyone gets these like cool little knickknacks, and it's cool getting spells, but I'd like to have some nice special stuff too,
like weaving magic across.
Look, I'm a greedy person.
Teleport and all kinds of crazy stuff.
So one thing that Rami dealt with this, especially in this last round of episodes, is he got hit a lot and nearly died in the last boss battle. So he's rethinking his invisibility power and has attuned it to greater invisibility, which he's able to target basically himself to be invisible for 1 round per level, even if he attacks.
So you can cast that on other people too, right?
I can. I believe if it functions the same as the regular invisibility, they have to be within touch range.
Gross. Yes, pretty good for a 4th level spell.
Yeah, so that one I'm excited about, and the offensive one that I'm excited about is Corrosive Haze.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Because he's noticed that Alindra got some pretty cool damage in turning into a cloud as a cloud, so he wants his own cloud. So,
yes, so you create like a floating cloud of acid. It just harasses people.
Yeah, it's a 5-foot cloud of acid-resistant nanites that continually convert nearby water vapor into deadly acid. And I can create the cloud in the same square as a creature and move it up to 30 feet in any direction as a move action on my turn. Now,
yeah, so give you a little something extra to do with that move action if you're
right, because I don't use it a lot
in the back. Just using your standard to shoot or cast spells. Makes sense.
So one of the cool things about it is anything that this haze hits does 46 damage. If you don't move the cloud, it remains where it is. If it shares a square with any creature at the beginning of my turn, that creature must succeed at a reflex save or take 4d8 damage. And any creature that takes damage from the cloud takes 10 additional acid damage at the end of its next turn.
Wow, that is actually pretty crazy. Coupled on top of that, it lasts for a round per level now. So 10 rounds. So like a potential 40. So
I could potentially have 2 clouds just kind of bebopping around.
Well, you could, but it would be a little difficult to move them, as you can only move one per
one.
Turn,
that is true.
Oh wow, yeah. So pretty big level, I would say.
I mean, it is. I mean, like I said, I get a couple spells. I don't have anything kind of like any neat like feats or anything like that. But the level 4 spells are really fun, and I think that it's definitely something that Braby is excited about because, man, he took a beating that last boss fight.
Oh yeah. Yes, and the fight after. A little more damage, right?
No, I didn't get touched the last round.
Oh, wow. Well, played it safe then. Let's go next and discover...
We had that conversation where if you had hit me, I would have died because you rolled the exact damage I had as a test roll.
Yes, good times. Oh, the old hypotheticals. Next, let's discover what's happened with the Alacritus Alindravalis. Rebecca.
Hello. I'm not sure how to feel about the fact that I'm not part of the nerds anymore, but...
Yeah,
I don't know whether to be happy or
you've been
sad.
Upgraded to full cool kid jock popular person.
I don't know. It's kind of like when I was in band in middle school and all my friends were in band, but I wasn't very good at playing instruments, so I was no longer allowed to be a nerd.
You just got to put more skill ranks into either trombone or computers.
Right, and then I'll be a nerd again. All right. So Alindra, I mean, I had multiple things go up in the damage that they do and things like that, but the big thing that I got was a Stellar Revelation.
Oh, yeah.
And there are some 10th level revelations, but I actually went for a 6th level revelation. So I kind of went back and went for a Glow of Life. And this is one that at level 6, I believe, I was trying to decide. I was like, I probably should go with Glow of Life because that would be the responsible choice. But I went with Blazing Orbit instead. But now here I am after having almost died several times between then and now and getting Glow of Life. So this allows me to spend an RP to heal myself, which could come in very, very handy and would have been really handy in the last fight. So
yes.
I think Alindra has looked inside herself and meditated a bit on her Solarian abilities and the stars, and having watched Adras heal himself and finding herself flat on the floor, I think she awakens from this moment with this renewed resolve, if you will, to live.
Part of the last episode, I think, or the previous one, you spent an entire turn, pulling out a serum and stabbing yourself for like less than 15 hit points. With this one, it's a move action, boom, and what you get back now 20.
Yeah, I get 20 hit points, or if I'm attuned to photon attunement, then it's 30 hit points. It's 3 times your level. It's pretty awesome.
Not to pick that one. That's great. Right. Cool. And last but not least, the ennobling Adras himself, Tyler. Tell us about our favorite soldier.
Level 10's kind of weird because
you picked some other options.
Yeah, because Adras is all over the place with his Divine Champion archetype. So at level 9, one of the cool things that soldiers get is a secondary fighting style. But because of the archetype, I didn't get it at level 9, but I do get it at level 10. So there you go. I don't get the combat feat, but I did get my secondary fighting style, and it's, first ability. So I did choose the Bombard fighting style. So Adros is now a grenade expert. We just saw him throw a grenade that he had no business throwing. And I think afterwards he was, but it was really effective. And he just
knocked everyone out for that turn.
Including Alindra.
Including Alindra. And so I think afterwards he was just like, there might be more to these grenades, which he hasn't really been, using than he thought. And so now he can take 10 minutes and he can scavenge enough parts to make a grenade that's equal to his soldier level. But for your secondary fighting style, it has to be your soldier level -8. So I can make any level 2 grenade or lower as long as I can take 10 minutes. But that grenade is only useful to me. So I can't hand it off to anybody. Sorry, guys. But there are some really cool options in the grenades, especially now that Armory is out. And I'm looking to do not so much damage, but some really cool status effects to give us an edge in battlefield control.
Awesome. Cool. I love Bombard style. Love it so much.
Yeah. Oh, and I should say one last thing about Bombard style is my range increment for throwing the grenades increases to 5 times my strength mod. My strength mod is now 6 thanks to level 10. So I can huck a grenade.
yeah, these maps don't go that far.
That seems really piratey, I have to say. Bombard, being, I don't know, it feels piratey. Blitz and Bombard were the 2 fighting styles that I was looking at when I originally wanted to make a Dross. I ended up going with Blitz because, pirates, when they take prizes, they get on ships and they try to, rush whoever's on there, take control as quickly as possible. And I thought Blitz kind of lent itself to that. But Bombard was always in the back of my mind, so I'm really excited to now, get into that.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to see that in action. Let's not beat around the bush and let's get back into it and talk about what happened exactly last time where we last left off.
We just finished wiping out those cultists.
Yeah, pretty frightening fight. They, in this kind of northern central chamber in this gateway facility, just kind of waiting, itching for a fight. In the previous room where you met Osteth, there was an alarm on that computer. They would have come and fought you then if you had set that off, or if they can hear multiple fights going on. I think it said in the book that they muster up and come looking for action a minute later, which was why I think they showed up round 10 of our combat. You had a few turns of breathing room, but yeah, you guys were able to take them down. You've cleared the computer in the main control room, banished the evil AI Eltreth, and have fully restored the planetoid's guardian, Offsteth. And that's where we find ourselves at the start of this episode. You're all beaten, bruised by negative energy, burnt from incendiary grenades and acidic pistol blasts. And, your armor is hanging off you in parts, just cut and slashed by those centered long swords. The hologram of Osteth stands in the center of the room, trying to digitally console you all and able to, put a hand actually on your shoulder. And she says, I know it seems grim, Starfinders, but you have made it. Please rest now. I have the remainder of the facility on lockdown, so you may rest easy. But you all have me on your side, and I'm now back in control. We have advantage in the remainder of the desperate hunger cultists. They do not expect you, so you all should rest well, knowing that you hold a distinct battlefield advantage.
Raby just lies on the floor and says, you don't have to know me twice.
Can I sense motive on Asta?
About?
To see whether they're telling the truth that we can rest for now without some sort of crazy other group of cultists coming to attack us?
Please do.
Say 30, and I'm going to add my expertise die to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 35.
35, yeah. So it does seem like Althsteth is holding something back while trying to still, calm you down a little bit. Seems like she's glancing over her holographic shoulder, as it were.
Althsteth, you sure there's nothing else you need to tell us? We haven't really cleared out all of these rooms. We just got rid of this other hologram for you and this other ancient Kish AI presence. You got anything else that you really need to share with us?
Well, now that you mention it, I have gotten my sensors back online, and while I have locked down the remainder of the facility, and you may go and explore these chambers as you wish freely, the office to the north is old, and to the northeast, well, there's an engineering bay, and I am indeed reading some movement in there, so I would be careful. It is possible that the cultists could still be inside the room waiting to spring a trap upon you and murder you all, but I wouldn't worry too much about that right now.
Oh, no.
So 10-minute break.
So I would like to go into this office and take a 10-minute break.
Okay, so yeah, that's where the other cultists last episode kind of jumped out from. You see they have, maybe left some gear and, things like their packs around, and I can get you guys all their loot, as it were, and you can also take the pistols, the armor off them, what remains.
Alindra also spots a desk around which there appear to be readable materials. Is there anything of note?
It looks like it's completely rotten. You might find some papers, some books. These are millennia old. For the most part, it is a fairly dusty room where it doesn't seem like anyone has really used it. The caretakers, mind you, Eltreth and Osteth, have been holograms for thousands and thousands of years. So this office didn't really have any computers in it, so they just didn't really keep it up. In here, though, you do find, besides the weapons and armaments of the cultists, they have cleared it out, but they have left behind a couple of high-tech looking Kish items. Perhaps they didn't know what they did. Why don't anybody give me an engineering check, and I'll tell you what one of these is. It's something you haven't seen before.
Oh, Andis.
Oh, yeah, 33.
Yeah, that's a 33 for me.
DC 23, it is a Kish comm unit, basically the Kish Ali version of the comm unit that you guys might have in your pockets. This one, as you take a look at it, does seem like when paired with another of its kind, works as a dimensional comm unit, which means you can communicate over very far distances and across different planes of existence, I believe.
Oh, that's cool.
But only if we have another one.
Yeah, they will need to be paired with one another, in they do. It does seem also to work kind of sporadically, but it does seem like very advanced tech, something more advanced than is even in the Pact Worlds. In addition to that, in these desks, you find two more of the small Kishali batteries, the ones that will rejuice themselves after a day of disuse.
I'll take those.
What else do we want to do?
Is there anything in this door to the left?
They're just some, broken down closets. Not really anything of use here.
Adros would like to spend 10 minutes in those closets putting together a grenade.
Ding, 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 tinker.
Is that what they're calling it now?
Well, if you guys want to take a 10-minute rest, we can do that. Do you guys have RP left? Is that a thing that exists?
I got 2 left.
I got a little bit.
I have a little bit. I have 2 now, but I am really going to love going to the 70 stamina points that I have at this point.
I would also like to use Glow of Life to restore 20 hit points back to myself. Can I do that?
I believe you can before you take the rest, and then you can also do it after if you use an RP point to regain stamina. So go right ahead.
Yeah, I can also attempt to heal deadly wounds on people.
Oh, yes, please.
I could use it.
That heals HP?
It does. Here, let me make the check here. Yeah, so I believe it's the DC is 25, and if I beat it by 5, I get to add the old int modifier to that.
So you want to roll up a couple for people? Does anybody not need some Andis healing?
I don't really need it, but can I assist with those checks?
Yeah, sure. I think if you assist and do so automatically, we won't need to roll them because that would be a plus 25 bonus. Is that correct?
That is correct, yeah.
Oh, well, I guess we'd still roll them, right? Because you might get the
right, because we might get the extra
30. Okay, so go ahead and roll me some. Oh, so Knack, you don't automatically aid, so you're gonna have to roll those as well. Should we give me a couple medicine checks?
So that's number 1.
15 on the first for Knack, 17 on the second. Helping out a good bedside manner.
And I don't think I get it on the 3rd.
Nope, 10
that does it.
is all you need.
Oh, well then great, awesome.
And just knocking these out the park.
Yeah, so all 3 of those are going to be 17 hit points back.
Okay, so
thank you.
To everyone that needs it or that you are spending some time in. So it will take a little bit longer than 10 minutes as, you're resting up, You're putting together grenades. You're bandaging some wounds. And as you do so, Osteth digitizes in the center of the room and begins to speak to you all again. She says, well, now that Eltreth has been returned to containment, I am closer to securing the gateway with your help, keeping the super weapon safe from the clutches of those maniacal marauders. And, well, having control back, I have access to the sensors across the sector, and I am detecting movement of several bodies within the core facility of Gate Number 2's controller moon. It is mostly autonomous operation there, save for some maintenance constructs that repair and regulate the graviton emanations. These cultists have seemed to have hijacked these robots and taken them offline. I fear that it is only a matter of time before the enemy is able to search that facility and find a working control board, which means that they would be able to repair this facility's operations and open the gateway, releasing the stellar degenerator. You all must stop them.
Quick question.
Yes.
So, why did your people lock behind a super weapon? Just lock it away. Why did you just destroy it?
I cannot speak completely for my people and what they did millennia ago, but regarding that, I have taken on the role as guardian of the gateway, as I would like to ask you to do as well. And for some time now, I have been thinking about my role here and what exactly I'm doing. My people, the Keshali, they fell from power eons ago. And with the destruction of Eltreth's core programming a few centuries back, it makes a woman think about the future. How much longer do I have? A millennia? 2? Regardless, I have come to a difficult decision, one that I hope that you will support. This stellar degenerator must be destroyed. I will be unable to shield this weapon from the universe for much longer, and thus I would like to see it destroyed, so its power cannot be used on innocents.
I mean, not for nothing, but that was kind of our plan.
Good. It is good to hear that. I was worried that, like many of the others that seem to have come here, they want it for their own powers. The room fills up with a wider hologram. It's a hologram of an entire star system. You see a bright orange star burning with dozens of planets and moons, orbital installations, and what seems like an advanced species living here, circling all these different heavenly bodies. Osteth goes on and says, my people once used the weapon. Once. After we captured it from our enemies, the Civs. It was after that great war and a new enemy threatened our own empire, and we decided we could not let the conflict ravage 2 civilizations like that again. We hoped the degenerator would be a deterrence, that using the weapon would be the humane option. As she speaks, a large ship, a massive space station, cruises into the side of the star system. The holographic display becomes blinding as a massive beam of energy shoots out of the weapon into the system's sun. The supernova is massive. Entire planets are burnt, others swallowed whole in an instant. She goes on to say, those who died immediately, they were the lucky ones. Within a week, the degenerator had turned the sun into a black dwarf. All life in that system that survived the blast would die a cold death. For every living organism in the system was already dying. 500 million starved in that forever darkness, and eventually the planets drifted away from their home world. Their planet was swallowed by a gas giant, erasing nearly every record of their existence. It was an extinction-level event within a few months. That was the power of the weapon the Civs built. My people saw the destruction, the pain, the misery that they unleashed with a single usage of the stellar degenerator, and, well, the scientists and engineers of Istamak, they set to work in developing the technological discovery of, setting up these controller moons, and a few decades later, they paved the way for the construction of the gateway. We hid the weapon inside a demiplane and kept it outside of the reach of those who would use it ever again. But that time has passed. It is time we must destroy it. But in order for you to do so, you must stop these cultists, and we must open the gateway, retrieve the stellar degenerator, and somehow destroy it for good.
Sounds like a plan.
Thoughts?
What's gonna happen to this facility if we destroy something so powerful and massive?
I do not believe that it will be able to survive. It would mean the death of me, yes.
Do we have any capability to download your programming onto one of our pieces of technology?
Unfortunately, that is not how we set up our AI. We can exist amongst the Kishali computers technology here on the controller moons, but we did not make ourselves capable of leaving. We were here for the long haul.
We found this communicator that looks like a Kishali design. Is this something that you can communicate with us as we continue on our journey to provide us support from a long range?
Yes, but it will need to be paired. I'm sure the network that once operated this cell phone, basically. Is that the word you use? Cell phone? You need two, one to talk to the other, yes?
If you've regained your sensors, there's a couple of rooms in here that we have not looked through and that you said you detected movement in. Can you tell us if there's any movement in the room just to the east of us?
Yes, there is indeed at least, I believe, one cultist still inside.
Well, we should probably clear that guy out before we leave, right?
That would
Yes.
be prudent.
But before we do, I have a question about this weapon. Do you know what powers are behind it? Such destruction.
I, for my part, did not know much of the stellar degenerator. I came on board after its use in order to seal it away. I know a great deal of the gateway of the 12, but of the Civ weapon, I do not know what powers it.
Well, how do we even destroy something like that? I mean, shoot it with itself?
Hopefully, once we unlock it, we will be able to figure out a way in which that it will not exist after we perhaps sabotage, drive it into one of the controller suns. I do not know, but what I do know is we cannot touch it where it rests in its current state, in a Dimma plane outside of our own plane of existence.
Do you have a database of the Civ language?
I believe now that she has full computer control, you all can download what it basically amounts to on datapads, the Kishali kind of like databases that they have here in this control room. So I don't know if they have necessarily the language, but they have many, I'm sure, records and things about the gateway and the stellar degenerator in these computers specifically.
So it's sort of like a CD-ROM encyclopedia that we get.
No, it's not kind of like that. It's exactly that.
Oh, okay, got it.
You have to play like the little games and find out about history.
Kishsoft Encarta.
Right.
Well, I think we should clear out this room. And then, sounds like we need to head over to another moon and round up these cultists and finish them off for good before we take care of this degenerator.
All right, lead the way, buddy.
Let's do it, Evie.
Should I knock politely or just open the door?
You know what? Surprise me.
So you guys, after resting up, spending some time here, heading on down the hallway to what looks like the last unexplored room in the controller moon facility here. Yeah, you got the drop, it seems. Go ahead and arrange yourselves around the doors here.
Dross is going to ready his longsword, and he's also got a grenade in one hand, and he's going to open up the door and see what's inside.
It's this little triangular pad in these doors, and you kind of press it, and it opens up. You've timed them out at this point. They stay open for about a minute, and as you open this one, I'll show you what you see in here. You see a cluster of what looks like machinist workstations, dozens of pieces of Kishali tech kind of lining the floors, the tables, alongside tools that look both familiar and completely alien to you all. Along the back and on the work table in the center here, you see a many lifeless chassis of what look like robots, perhaps Kishali robots. That's what you see from here. Yes, moving on in.
I'll step inside. Dross will step 10 feet inside the room, looking about tentatively.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Andus steps in and then steps over to the corner over to their right.
A bunch of like boxes and detritus.
Yeah, I'm just like crouching on top of a bunch of garbage. I'm crouching in the garbage pile.
Difficult garbage terrain.
That's why I got these sweet skates. It's like you skate up to the top of this garbage pile.
Trash skates.
Nak is going to step in behind Idras in order to have a perception check at the ready because he knows that Idras is not always the most observant of people.
Well, I was about to say, as you get closer, you see maybe on the table one of these robot legs kind of like twitch. You hear like servos moving inside of it, and it's as that happens, as soon as you all move in, the spidery appendages all begin to move, as well as these two robots that pop up here on this table. You see a third oddly constructed robot kind of in the back of the room, seem to be hiding, move out. It does definitely seems maybe a more modern robot here in this northwest corner, closer to a pack-style drone, and they all begin moving, pop up, and they begin to open fire on you. Oh boy, it's time for initiative.
Oh, but they look like nice robots.
Get out of this without fun combat.
Patrick, I have a rules question.
Oh boy, I love answering those.
How long have we been in this facility?
Including the rest that you just took, probably half an hour or so.
So not the 24 hours that I need for this helmet that controls robots to work.
Nope. not nearly 24 hours.
I don't know about you guys. I don't know about you. I don't know about you listeners out there. But you know when the best time to use a grenade is? When you're like near the top of the turn order and the bad guys haven't gone yet. They're far away from you. I rolled a natural 1 on initiative.
This is a weird riddle.
Yeah, so did Alindra. So our heavy hitters are.
Oh no! What's my natural 1 song? I forgot it.
Okay, we've rolled up a bunch of initiative rolls here, and these drones do begin moving. You hear perhaps energy weapons that they have on them begin to whine. And the first person to notice this and the first to act in combat here is Nak Feldspar.
Awesome. Can I roll an engineering check just to see if I can see kind of a description, get a better description of what these cats look like?
Yeah. So to identify some more features of these bots.
Yeah.
Redhead.
Let's say 28.
Okay, so you've beaten the DC, which I think is 21 for these guys, by more than 5, so you can get a couple pieces of information. You don't want to do a quick little spot check on them. What would you like to know?
I would like to know, do they have any obvious weapons that I can see?
Yeah, so what looks like on both of them, I'm going to increase the art here, give you a little better view. They have these kind of appendages held over their head, these two little robots, and it does seem like some kind of energy discharge weapon. Taking a closer look at it, it looks to be like some kind of beam weaponry, a laser perhaps, not something too out there. You get another piece of information. Anything else you'd like to know?
Can you tell me what kind of bits of information I could possibly get?
Well, you've found a little bit about their offense. You can ask about their defenses, any special abilities, things like that. You know that these are indeed small constructs of the technological subtype. If you had attuned over 24 hours to that helmet, this is exactly the situation where these would be able to be put under your control. But yeah, besides that, anything else you'd like to know?
Can you tell me about defenses?
Right, so I can tell you something you probably already know. Like most constructs, these will have construct immunities, but in addition to that, pretty standard amongst robots wherever they're built, they have a couple of weaknesses. One is to electricity. The other is they're vulnerable to critical hits.
Yay!
So go ahead and roll
Now's
those
the
ones that
time.
you want.
I have one final question, Patrick. Do these robots have an intelligence score?
I believe you had the ability to ask 2 questions. We're moving on to your action. What do you want to do?
I want to point at the one just dead center and say, get him! And I would like to try to use my new feint ability, my clever feint.
Against one of the robots?
Yeah, the same one.
Yeah, so I don't think... you do need an intelligence score.
Which is why I asked the question.
Yeah, we should ask that one first. Go ahead, make me a bluff check.
So that is a 25 plus my expertise is going to be 29.
That is going to be enough for, let's say, this one to the left. So Sparky, we'll call him. Yeah. I don't know if you're like juking him out. Do you have any explanation of what Knack looks like he's in Clover Feint?
He does one of those Captain Kirk moments where he asks a paradoxical question to it, and it freaks it out for a little bit.
Yeah, these things, they seem to be very smart, actually, studying your movement, but they're confused by this furry little creature that they see in front of them.
Nice. So that guy is now flat-footed until the end of my next turn. So have at him.
Okay, next in the turn order, it's all these guys. These robots. They're going to spread out a little bit here, moving off the table, and we're just going to take some shots because they're still about 10, 15 feet away from you all, and just roll some random dice, see who they're attacking. All right, two 10s on D10s. Looking down the turn order, they are both shooting at Electra Valis for some reason.
I didn't even do anything.
Exactly. They're like, oh, let's take out. So this weak one who doesn't move. Oh boy. Against EAC. Oh, maybe they're just missing. Oh, one hit here. A 14 on the dice. These aren't crazy damage, but I did roll max on a D6, so that's 12 points of fire damage as a focused beam laser cuts across your armor, maybe singes the flesh underneath. And this odd looking robot in the back is going to move up as well, straight away to Edros Varonis, because it has what looks like a weighted mallet kind of attached to one of its arms.
Oh.
That's going to work like a swoop hammer. Tactical swoop hammer.
No.
And it's making a attack against your KC 3 on the dice. I'm going to pick that one up. Swoop to dupe, and it's done there. Gosh. Rolled a couple 3s on attacks. Great job, GM. As these robots are moving forward, you do hear a small female voice squeaking out from behind the desk, and a Soki voice that says, "Who are you all? Did you come here to get clobbered by my robot army?" A pistol pops up from behind the desk. It's going to almost take a blind shot as she stays hidden behind the desk and cackles. Let's see. This is definitely going to be a random attack because she can barely see. It is going across the room to Andis 147.
No.
15 on the dice. It's actually a KAC weapon. It's a advanced semi-auto pistol. That is a hit. Oof. Actually, a lot of damage here. These are 2d6. Rolled a 4 and a 3. I've forgotten all math skills. All math has left me. That is going to be 16 points of damage.
Oochie.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, was it an actual blind shot, or was that just like flavor?
You saw maybe a tail, a head pop above the desk for just a second and then pop back down.
Are there rules for that?
Blind shots? Not really. No.
Really?
I mean,
Okay.
If you know where someone is, it would be like shooting blind, so 50% miss chance. But yeah, she actually kind of poked her head above and then popped back down.
I see. You're just describing that she's in like high cover because she was short.
Yeah, well, she's back down in total cover. She is hiding behind the desk. She took a free action to fall to the ground. Those Ahsoki and their kipping up ability. It is Raimi Quindar's turn. They all went, and now next on the turn order is a 12 on the initiative.
Yeah. So Raimi is going to shoot at the flat-footed robot that Knack had pointed out.
Okay, yeah, it's just a little off kilter. That's the one that missed its shot. So in addition to being easier to hit, it definitely is a little thrown off maybe by this weird Ahsoki.
And it also has Get 'em on it, for the record.
So that's 30.
That's a hit.
And does this get him added any damage?
Not this one, no.
True. Okay, so that's 24 points of damage.
Okay, writing it down on Sparky. Anything for a move action?
Nope.
then we are going to Andis 147.
Okay, let's see. When you were describing the offensive abilities of these robots, I may have missed a detail. Did you mention that they had any like clobbering stuff or anything? Any melee?
It does, you're just able to see these large things that seem to support the beam weaponry. You see them kind of like operating like massive bludgeoning cleavers as well, so they can just like jump them down, as well as very ineffectual kind of appendages. So it does look like if you move past them, they might try and beat you about the head.
Okay, that sounds reasonable. So I only have one shot left, and then I'm out of batteries. So I'm gonna have to conserve my ammo, and I'm gonna bust out an ability that I haven't used before called Override.
Ooh.
And I'm going to use my wireless hack exocortex ability to target the guy with the wrench up here and who's standing adjacent to
this robot.
Wrenchy McGee next to our friend Ratley. And so that robot gets to make a will save DC 22, and do let me know what the result is.
Somehow, believe it or not, it's like their best save. These robots.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know why, but let's roll that D20.
Go figure.
Roll that beautiful bean footage. Don't think it matters because I rolled a 4. I've got a whopping 11 on my will. So.
Oh, okay. You said plus 11 or...
Nope, that's a straight 11.
Oh, good. Then they missed the DC by greater than 10,
Yes.
by 10 or greater. So I get
so.
to dictate, DC 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show.
So I get to dictate its actions for the next round.
Nice.
Nice.
So shoot
That's
at
really cool.
Alindra again, is I'm guessing what's going to happen.
Probably. Yeah.
They don't know you're doing this. You can just get back at Rue.
Right. It's all a big sneak. So I guess that would happen on its action. Is that right?
Yes, I'm guessing next turn.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Then as a move action, I'm going to use twin tracking, which is my new version of my combat tracking, to track both Spanner and Lightning Bolt.
Oh, so taking a good look at both of them.
Yeah, exactly. So I got both of them. I'm calculating, metrics on both of them. So.
Which direction they're gonna move, who they're gonna attack. Next in the turn order, we're going to Adros Veronic.
It's a me. I've got Swoop de Boop in front of me, so I feel like we should test his defensive capabilities by trying to attack him, or trying to attack it twice, and see how the dice land.
All right. Seems like a pretty tried and true. If you don't know what it is, you smack it with a sword.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. So first attack, lots of dice. That's a 19 on the die.
Hold on. Well, let me check the KAC here. Yeah, that's a hit.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh man, we're doing level 8 Alindra damage now. 32 points of damage.
Oh, yeah. So you using your long sword, bringing it down on this thing, you easily cut through. This doesn't seem to be the Kishali metals that have created this thing. Your sword is able to cut through some wires, some armor on this bot, and it doesn't look too happy with you.
All right, well, let's bring the sword back around. Maybe try to cut off one of these, like, what is it? I have 4 legs? It doesn't need that many legs. Let's get rid of one of those legs. Not as good. It's only a 20 to hit.
20 against KAC?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. That's a hit.
Oh, that's good, because I rolled 3 8s on 4d8, so that's a whopping
that's a lot of damage.
6 points of damage.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
At home,
Zero
that's
bits.
that's 78 points of damage right there.
It's still up, but barely. You
Oh, dang
chopped
it.
it twice. It is, it's missing a leg. It's missing maybe one of its arms. Still got the swoop hammer attachment, but
Oh, no.
it's looking a little less beefy now.
I feel so much better in this fight than I did the last 2 episodes. Oh.
It's like this isn't the boss fight.
Yeah.
And you leveled up. You're doing these
Yeah.
out of wacky order. At the bottom of the turn order, Alindra Vallis.
All right, I'd like to activate my haste circuit. I'm going to move through Nack's space and up along this wall to the other side of the robot that has Get 'em on it, and also was clever fainted.
Yes.
So it does not get a reaction, right?
Sparky, it is currently flat-footed, I believe, still.
Right. And now I'm going to do a double attack.
So swift action, we talked about this in the rules section. Swift action to enact the haste circuit, which means you can't full attack that turn, despite that, what haste does. A full attack is your swift, your move, and your standard action taken away.
But once it's activated, you can do that next turn. But
next turn, it lasts for however many turns it lasts for.
I think it has a charge of 10, so it'll last for 10 rounds.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll just take one then. That's a 35 to hit.
Oh, that's a hit.
Awesome. So that's going to do 33 damage.
Boy. Oh, boy. 33. I can't do all this math.
I like how she rolled 2 ones and she still did about as much damage as like my mid-level damage. You're so insane, Alindra.
Solarians are broken though. They're totally terrible. They can't do any damage.
Sure.
Terrible class.
That's turn 1. Let's go on to turn 2, Knackfeld Spar. What you got, Drew?
All right, so the challenge is that this guy is only clever fainted until the end of my turn this round, but I kind of still want to attack him. So I am going to...
I will tell you, after a shot, I believe, from an X-Gen, a heavy weapon, and a Solarian chopping at this thing, it's not going to last that much longer, so... I don't know how useful fainting this one again would be.
I'm not going to. I'm going to go ahead and attack it with my minor disruption pistol with a get 'em attack.
Okay.
Which it looks like I needed because that's a 19 to hit.
Against EAC on these are modified maintenance bots. Now that you're taking a look at them, they do seem to be of Kish design. 19, is that what you said?
Yes, 19 with get 'em, but it's got the -2 from flat-footed still.
Yep, that is correct. That is a hit.
Yes.
EAC.
For 10 damage.
Okay. Yes. It is not doing great. Not dead yet. Maybe if you use a electricity-based damaged weapon, but we'll never know. It's their turn now, and I get to make some counter attacks. This robot is under Andis's control, so I don't really get to decide.
But Andis gets to make that robot's actions this round.
Yeah,
right?
it is the enemy's turn. Jabert.
Yeah.
Forced.
Of course, yeah. Spanner is going to take a 5-foot step back.
Girder step.
Yep. And is then going to take that mallet and, without breaking eye contact with me, is just going to take that mallet and just like slam it down on the Ahsoki laying on the ground.
Please make a D20 roll.
I will.
Can we possibly do
Come
non-lethal? Can we do some non-lethal?
Nah.
She should have shot her pistol non-lethal at me.
13 on the dice. Is that right?
13 on the dice. Yep.
Okay, that is very much a hit. This thing, oh boy. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a D6 for its melee slam ability.
Oh boy, that high damage roll.
Yeah, well, let's wait until it starts hitting you guys.
Yeah. Oh boy, I got a 1, Patrick.
Okay, so minimum damage, but yeah, you hear from behind the desk this Ahsoki say, "Ow, you stupid! No, them! You're supposed to be attacking them!" So I've still got control of old Sparky, and Alindra is looking for a beatdown. It seems it's gonna turn to her. Make a full attack, this robot. First one against KC, a Slambo. I've rolled a 9, so like a 5 on the dice. What is your KC these days, Rebecca?
24.
Oh boy, what did I say? A 5 on the dice? Ooh, that's just a miss.
Oh, good.
Gosh, darn it. And we roll my other dice here. 8 on the dice, not gonna do it. It misses both times.
Yes!
might be the most ineffectual enemy you've come across.
Poor Sparky.
And this robot, what seems to be a drone on Edros, is going to also make double attacks. Double swoop hammers.
No, Swoopty. Oh,
15
gosh.
on the first dice and a 9 on the second. What's your KAC?
It's higher now because my dex done gone up.
Your
I believe. My dex. It's 29 now.
9 on the dice is a miss. 1 hit. I'll roll for that swoop hammer slam that you hear about.
Swoop. My DR went up, so hopefully I soak some of this up.
15 points of bludgeoning damage. So, yep, you can soak up a good amount of that. And, yeah, popping up from behind the desk is this small Ahsoki woman again. And she's not too happy about getting slammed by her own robot. She comes up with this pistol and says, "The name's Zix, and if you think you're taking me alive, you're dumb, or you're about to be dead. Either way, I don't care. Pew, pew, pew." I think she understands what just happened here, which means she's going against Andis 147. Another shot at our mechanic. 13 on the dice. That is.
It's a 13 off.
It's a hit, I believe, with her advanced semi-auto pistol. So let me roll some more KAC damage. Oh boy, very close to minimum damage. 12 points of piercing damage as a couple bullets graze by, give you a little burn on your keister. That's the enemy's entire turn. Rami Quindar, welcome to you.
All right, so I'm going to fire it on the same robot that is next to Alindra.
Not doing too good this one.
Oh, it's 14.
That's a 16 with get him.
It still doesn't matter.
Just in case. Just in case.
16 is going to be miss. Sorry.
Pronk.
Anything on your move?
Nah.
And Andis 147.
Let me see. Let me just measure a distance real quick. Yeah. I'm gonna slide down this pile of garbage that I'm perched on.
I think you mean scoot down.
I'm gonna scoot him down, and I look over at Sparky, and I do the same thing. I reach out to Sparky, and I try to grab control of that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna go flank this rat person with her own robot.
Oh, a 3 on the will save. So is that the same thing I rolled last time? I think I rolled 8.
You rolled a 4 last time, so
boy,
that's a 10.
And I look back over it. Was it Zix? Is that right?
Yes, Zix.
I look back over at Zix and I wink.
What is happening? Edros Piranhas, we're on to you. So got this bot in front of you.
I so wish Adros understood what was going on, because he'd look at Andis and be like, "Oh, do this one next. Do this one next." But he is. He's too stupid. So
you could have put 2 ability points into intelligence.
Fans, I did not. I kept the intelligence of 8 alive. He's as dumb as he was the day this adventure started. Oh, that sounds awful. I regret even speaking that. Let's just kill this robot. How about that? I'll double attack this robot again, since it worked out pretty well last time. Oh boy. Longsword. Again, too many legs. Now it has 3 legs. Too many legs. More. Let's do more leg damage. That's a 29 minus 4, 25.
That is a hit, and with the only 3rd attack against this thing, you indeed chop its processing head off, and it goes rolling across the ground, dead.
Yes!
Lifeless. Robot body.
Stellar. So can I interrupt that full attack and make a move action instead?
No. That'll be your full action taking us to Alindra Vallis.
Sad day.
You see this robot looking up at you. It gives you a wink, a robotic wink. What do you want to do?
Okay, does the red dot mean it still has get 'em on it?
No.
The red dot was for
No.
flat-footed, but it does have get 'em on it. But
It
it's
does
also
have get 'em
also under Andis's control right now.
Oh, it is. Okay. Okay, well, my haste circuit is active, so maybe I'll go on up to this Isoki. Or should I attack the thing that Andis is controlling?
I mean, you can charge the Isoki. This thing won't make an attack against you.
Okay, so with my haste circuit active, I can move and then also double attack. Is that correct?
Yes, so you can make a move action before a full attack. You basically have an additional move now.
Right. Okay, I'll do that then. So I'll go right up behind the Isoki girl Zix. Is that right?
Indeed.
And I'm going to full attack. So here's number 1. Oh my gosh!
No.
That's a natural
Well, I
20.
was really planning to talk to this Isoki that might be a member of my family before she's splattered onto the ground, but that's fine.
Non-lethal.
Wow.
You got more family. We'll go talk to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, listen.
Damn
That's a lot of green letters.
So that's,
Numbers.
Is this
79 damage?
Yeah, but do you still have the severe wound crystal?
No, I have burn
just the
crystal. I have
D6
photon.
Oh, okay. All right. So how much damage?
Wow.
79 damage. Oh,
Plus
wait.
2?
Plus 2. That's going to be 81 damage.
1. Wow.
And some burn, right?
And some burn. So here's the burn.
Oh boy.
Hey, fun fact,
3.
listeners. Ed Dross does not have 81 points of HP. That's
Alindra, let me remind me never to invite you to my family reunions.
Sorry, Nick.
Yeah, she is not looking too good after being slashed in the back by a Solarian. You see her look up and it's like, okay, well, I'm feeling less confident about making you all dead. That statement I said earlier. I'm now kind of 50-50 on the dying thing. Knack, you can tell this perhaps distant cousin you've not seen before doesn't seem like she wants to fight anymore after a single attack. It is still Rebecca's turn, though.
Yeah, so technically I have another attack. Can I declare this one non-lethal?
no.
Or can I just say, all right, you want to talk?
I'll allow it, or you can just not attack. It's up to you.
Can I tell her to call off her robots?
Yeah. And she says, I don't rightly control those two, but you've already destroyed my drone.
Well, then help us take down the other 2 and we'll talk.
I think I'm just actually going to lie down on the ground for a little while. I think that's the plan, actually.
Okay, we'll come back for you.
Turn 3, Knack Feldspar.
Oh my.
What a turn. Okay, Andis, are both of these robots still under your control or just Zappy?
Just this one.
Yeah, just Sparky.
Okay, Knack is gonna step up here and get him and fire at Spanner.
Alrighty.
Gonna fire minor disruption pistol.
Oh no! What's happening? What's happening?
Why, everyone? Why would you do this to me?
That one's weak to critical hits, so this is
Another
even
natural
worse.
20. Yeah. Weak to criticals. So what's that damage, Drew?
So that is so that's 14 damage on the first round. I just need to roll 2d6 to the second one. I crit so.
You've got
That's
it.
critical
You've got it
effect.
in the in
Oh,
the
12.
macro.
12. So that's 26 points of damage. And it's staggered.
Incorrect. It is 39 because it's weak to critical hits,
Oh
Oh my gosh.
and it does get I believe a fortitude save against the disruption pistol's staggered effect. Make that roll right now. A natural 2.
Natural food!
Great.
This is great.
This is working out perfecto for me.
This after the last 2 episodes, this fight feels so good. Oh man.
I want to give a hearty round of applause. This is a podcast first. Knack did more damage than a Dross. That's amazing. I love it so much.
Okay.
Good work, Knack. It's glad to be. I'm glad we're on the same page right now.
Alrighty, so it is the enemy's turn, and This robot not doing great. It is indeed staggered, which means it can only take a single move or standard action. It's going to take a standard action to try and shoot Knack's head off. And let's go ahead and roll that d20 first. Ooh, 7 on the dice. What is your EAC?
My
Drew.
EAC is 24.
Okay, I've rolled exactly a 24. It is shooting over the decks, though, so I was going to give it to my robot, which means I have to give it to you. That little soft cover, which means it is a miss.
Yes.
And this one is being controlled by Andis. So, don't have a lot of agency on my turn. Jabert, what do you want this robot to?
This guy walks up and climbs up on the desk and then just like drops that hammer down on Zilch.
Oh, no!
Why? Yeah, why? We're gonna have some stew tonight.
Oh,
The Ahsoka, you want to attack
No,
these?
attack the robot. Come on, man.
You have her.
Fine.
Attacking you.
You have
Fine,
her.
I'll attack.
Give up.
Yeah, well, I've also heard her shoot me in the face like 3 times, so I'm not like super forgiving about somebody who shoots me with a gun twice. So,
Yeah, you know, you were best friends with Clara 247.
well,
Good point.
So
I don't think she shot him. I think she shot.
I hope the final boss is
Yeah,
a Ahsoka, so Drew tries to talk to it and just kills him instantly.
all right, yeah. This guy will bring the old band hammer down on Spanner.
Hammer.
D20 roll.
Ooh, nice. That's a 17 on the roll.
Yeah, that's a hit. Go ahead and roll me a D6.
Yay, 4.
Jeez Louise. It's bloody. This one's bloody again. Raimi Quindar, you're next.
All right, so
After, quote unquote, my turn.
Patrick, it's our turn. It's our turn.
I'm gonna move directly so I have the robot right in my line of sight, and I'm going to fire my X-Gen. It's a 20.
20 against KAC against these bots. If you hadn't moved, that would have been a miss through all this cover here, but getting that clean shot, 20's a hit.
Yeah, for 14 points of damage, minimum damage.
Still pretty good.
Not bad.
It's still up, which means it's Andis's turn.
All right, I am out of robots to control, and I'm going to use my last shot out of my disruption rifle, and I'm going to. I don't even have enough ammo to do anything special with it. I just got to shoot. So I'm going to shoot at old Sparky.
Alrighty.
well, Spanner has get him, I believe.
Oh, Spanner has get him right now. Okay, then I'll go for Spanner. Yeah.
All right.
Poor Spanner.
I know it's like staggered, and it's just having a real bad day.
It's kind of like punching a puppy at this point.
Well,
Does that mean Elindra's gonna adopt it?
yep. That'll be a 29 on the hit.
That's a hit.
All right, and 26 points of damage.
It had 12 left, and it blasts apart into a spray of nuts and bolts everywhere.
Gross.
And oh boy, that takes us to Edros Franis. This drone in front of you is downed, and you can move on. What do you want to do?
Edros is just gonna kind of casually walk over the down drone, walk up next to the desk that has Sparky on it. How's Sparky looking?
Not great. It had, I think,
Edros is-
one more hit point than its friend over here.
Edros kind of looks over at Andis, kind of like how I imagine that kid in the movie Old Yeller looked at his dad before.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh,
And
man.
Andis nods approvingly.
Swing away, Edros. Swing away.
Right.
Edros is like,
You know what you have to do.
I'm sorry about this, Sparky, but it's the only way.
he's gonna bring down the old longsword.
Pa, Andis says I gotta put you down.
And 20.
That's a hit.
Yes.
35 points of damage.
Chopping it in half. We're out of combat. Yeah. Robot smashing time. on the ground, you see this Asoki woman, Zix, nearly dead from like a single attack from Alindra. And she says, I surrender. Please don't break me. We are out of combat. She is subdued. You see her just kind of toss this auto-target pistol to the side, sporting her wounds. She maybe stands up slowly and takes a look over here. She's like, oh no, QO, oh, my drone, you smashed it up to bits. You really broke it down quite expertly.
It has too many legs.
The name Zix Canterful. Why do you want to know?
Zix, why don't we talk privately for a second? And I start speaking Asoki to her.
Okay, she responds in Asoki.
My name's Nak Feldspar. I don't know if that means anything to you.
I know. Yeah, I know a lot of Feldspar. They're all over the system back in the Pact Worlds.
And I'm wondering if that means enough for you to reconsider what's going on and answer our questions, and maybe you can get out of this alive.
I don't know what you're talking about. Reconsider. I'm thankful you all spared my life. I thank you for that. But I don't know what you want from me now.
I switch back to common so that everybody else can understand. Well, let's just say you are here hiding out in a closet in a building that has been occupied by Cult of the Devourer cultists. Are you a member of the Cult of the Devourer?
Well, yeah, I mean, I run with these people, but I just go wherever my brother goes.
Your brother?
Yeah, my brother, Zaz. We used to live together back on Akaton, and we were on the starship ride, and the ship all broke apart, and this pink-haired lady came, and she saved us. We were near dead, and, well, we went to work for her. Zaz is great, by the way. He taught me all about robots and computers and machines, and, well, I don't know. He's pretty tops in my book. If you find him, though, he won't be kind to you like I am. He's really not the talkative type. He'll probably put a bullet in your head, before talking to you.
And I bet you thought you'd put a bullet in our heads when we came into this room, didn't you?
Yeah, I was pretty sure you guys were gonna get broke before I did. But yeah, no, you all broke down these robots faster than I could. You're the best breakers out there. You broke the breakers that broke them. You broke me. That's confusing.
Yeah, well, so what do you think we're going to do to your brother when we find him and he chooses to attack us?
I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to kill him or he's going to murder you. Yeah.
So you're saying you don't have any sway over your brother to get him to stand down, get him to drop this Cult of the Devourer nonsense?
I don't know. Maybe he's not really too much for this cult, but he's pretty dedicated to the pink-haired lady. So what are you gonna do? Say la vie.
Who's the pink-haired lady?
Oh, what's her name? Null 9. The silly android stuff. I call her pink-haired lady because everyone knows what I mean. Anyway, she's kind of a bummer. She won't let me break as much stuff as I would like to break. And like I told her, I wanted to blow up all 12 of these suns, and she said no. So pretty much a buzzkill. But she said she wanted some kind of weapon from this other dimension. And, well, if you don't tell her I said it, that one's got a few loose bolts in the old positronic personality matrix, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I get your drift.
Do you get my drift?
I get your drift.
Do you get my drift, Mac?
Get your drift, Zix.
All right, cool.
We literally fly in the drift rider. He gets your drift.
I don't like this Vesk, she says in Asoki.
Andis approaches Zix and says, "So, how'd you get hooked up with this Null 9?
Yeah, we were on this derelict ship for maybe weeks, and we were pretty on the last end, the life support going, didn't have food, and she just showed up, and we've just been signed up with her crew, these desperate hunger folk for months now. Maybe years. Time's kind of fuzzy. I don't remember things too well. But yeah, she lets me break stuff every once in a while. It's been pretty great.
So if you follow your brother everywhere, why haven't you followed him this time?
Yeah, they told me to stay behind and get to work in this engineering bay because they were worried I was going to break the replacement for the control board that they were going for, just because I like to break stuff. But yeah, I wasn't allowed to go. The really cool shuttle, not allowed to touch, get that replacement thing. And well, the glowing alien guy, sent them on an errand. He doesn't hold stuff too well, so they had to go physically get it. And I think once they get it, then the weapons the pink-haired lady has been talking about since we met her, she'll finally be able to get it and, oh boy, get off our back.
You said you don't remember much about
it's fuzzy. It's here or there. I'm more interested in robots and computers than thinking about numbers and dates and things like that.
Do you know which planetoid they went to?
I believe Osteth has that information for you. She's not too sure.
Okay.
It was number 2.
Oh, okay.
Is there a check that we can do to see any kind of mind affecting either magic or just medical damage, physical damage?
Yeah, so give me a medicine check, why don't you? Anybody can, after talking to her for a little bit, figure out what's happening here.
Yeah, I might need an assist on that.
Yeah, let me give it a try. It's a 27 for me.
Can I assist that?
You can. I can tell you just from these conversations, she might have some kind of psychosis or perhaps even brain damage. It seems she's very focused on a few things and kind of her attention is snapping all over the place. You do see, besides the attack from Alindra, what look like, old festering wounds. Let me show you the art for Zix. She just look a little off. Little disgruntled, covered in grease. Yeah, all over the place. So maybe she's not all there.
Do we have a med bay on the Rift Rider that we could put somebody into, like a prolonged, not suspended animation, but just like twilight sleep, like just keep them medicated asleep for a period of time?
So you want me to put her in a coma?
I mean, not a coma.
Like a medically induced coma.
Like just asleep for a while.
So there are sedative medicines that you can use that kind of, deal non-lethal damage to someone, kind of just puts them under. You would be able to make some low tier ones if you wanted to back on the ship. It seems like this bay here in the facility has everything you would need for like an engineering bay or, maybe even like chemical production. So if you have some UPBs to spend, that's a possibility.
Okay, then yeah, we could potentially do that.
I do have one last question for her.
Uh-huh.
Who is the glowing alien person that she mentioned?
Offset shows up in the room. It's like, it kind of looks like that one over there, but it's kind of meaner.
Okay, that's what I thought.
He's a bad dude.
Okay.
Zix, got a proposal for you, but it's going to be a little challenging, I think. We want you to come with us just to relax and, take some time off and just, close your eyes and sleep for a little while. You okay with that?
That sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I want to break things is really what I want to do.
Okay.
Make me a diplomacy check, though, Drew. You're being very convincing. You make me want to take a nap.
That is a 29 diplomacy check.
29? Does anybody want to help out with this? Try and talk her down?
I can. It's a 21.
Okay, so with the aid there, she's like, I don't know, maybe. I can't do anything, that would make Zaz angry. So these people, they saved my life. So, it's important. They saved Zaz, too. I'll go with you. You guys saved me, but, the computers here are all wonky. They're confusing. I can, maybe help you out with some of those, how to break into some of the computers. I found some exploits. shortcuts in the code that you can use, get around some countermeasures. She is willing to teach you the way she hacked into these maintenance bots, give you a little bonus on some future computer checks.
Oh, we would love it.
That's useful.
Yeah, and she says, hey, if you can get me off this planet, I hate it here. I'd really appreciate it, but I do what you say just to get back home again. I won't even break your ship that much or nothing.
Oh, don't worry. There's not much risk in that. Hey, and they might have saved your life, but just remember, I saved your life from that Vesk over there.
Well, I'll do that for you. Would you do something for me though, Knack? Would you say to be continued?
Oh, you got me. Oh.
You had no clue it was coming true. Just admit it.
No, I didn't. I had no clue.
Which was why he was being so cagey about promising to anything at all whatsoever.
I promise to end this episode.
I definitely didn't know it in the part that I'm going to edit out of this episode. Oh, man.
Good times. That's... oh, boy. That is a good deal through book 5 here of Dead Sons.
And to think we could have done all of this before we did the big battle.
Oh yeah, no, her computer shortcuts would have been very helpful in that hacking battle. You probably would have ended a few rounds earlier. Who knows? But c'est la vie. That's the way it goes with these choose your own adventure style tactical tabletop role playing games. We got some loot to go over between this episode and next. We'll talk about it. One of the things you find in this room, something I think that's been on a few radars here, is a couple of the larger Kishali batteries.
Ooh, what are those two?
You can take her weapons and armors and things like that. We'll talk about it next time. But yeah, until then, let's wrap this one up. Thank you guys all for playing with me.
Thank you, Patrick.
Rating
me multiple times. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Say good night, everyone.
Good
night.
Good night, everybody.
Yasumi.